yesterday.
Yeah. So this is this is what happens. So in Chiklapur, what we are trying to do is that first, lot of awareness activities we are trying to do. We are trying to work with communities and trying to say that look, there is contamination that is detected, and there are health impact also. So what we do is initially is we do water and health assessment. We try to understand what is the status of the water contamination and its health impact that is seen. Usually, it is seen in children. It is seen in the younger folks who have this who have the teeth that they're growing. So when we find that there are such stains on the teeth, we know that the impact of drinking high fluoride water is also happening on the happening within young children and also adult population in the village. So that is the first kind of level of work that we try to do. We do a water and health assessment and get a situation and an understanding of the village. So that is something that we try to do. Second, then to also communicate back with people, we try to hold a lot of meetings there in the village, and in the meetings there we communicate back and then try to aware the communities that you can this is the issue that is identified in your village. You can start doing following things that we feel are good ways to prevent this disease further. So one of the ways is that we tell them that please uh, drink fluoride free water. So have you seen this have you seen this in nowadays? It is also common in Bangalore as well. Have you seen this? Again, yes, no in the chat box. This is water purification. Is my screen visible?
Yes, but that picture has gone away. Now it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I think I have to. I'll stop this and I'll present the. Ah, yeah. Fine. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's this. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you seen this? Have you seen this? This is the basically this is the water purification plant. Now in Chikbalapur there are over 400 plus of these water purification plants, and like so this is so when we talk about when we are working in high fluoride contaminated villages, one of the ways is to support the communities is to how we can enable this access to safe drinking water. So one of the things that we try to do is by doing with the uh, in Chikbalapur, fortunately, the government department itself has taken the initiative, and then there are a lot of RO plants set up. So one of the strategies that we start working on is how we can promote first do the testing and show the difference for the community that there are if you drink water from say a borewell, then you will have high fluoride contamination, and you test water from a treated water that's coming from the RO plant, and then you get relatively there is no fluoride contamination that is seen. So that is the first strategy that we try to do, that we try to communicate with the with village women members, village water and sanitation committee members, that you can start drinking water that is coming from the community plant. Now in this, that is the first strategy, and then going to the second strategy is mostly where a lot of our attention also goes into is how can we improve nutrition levels within people. So this work is coming from Indran's earlier well documented work, where it is proven that if you improve the nutrition of the people, then the effect of fluoride in your body decreases. So that is where a lot of second kind of intervention that we do in Chikbalapur is focused on how can we improve nutritional security within, say, schools. How can we schools, anganwadis, and also households. So for this, what we are trying to do is we're trying to support schools, anganwadis, and households with providing them saplings of moringa, which is supposed to be really good in vitamins that are helpful in detoxifying fluoride contamination from body. And then there are also various advantages of using very local uh, uh, foods, like adding, say, tamarind into your food, curd into your food, promoting millet consumption in the food, ragi for the food. So idea is trying to a lot of solution already exist in the within the people, but also promoting it in a manner that is also sustainable for people to take it ahead. So this is the second approach that we currently work with. And since the 3 4 years, we have had attempts of trying to support uh, schools, households, and Anganwadis with nutrition gardens. Uh, Nutrition garden in some cases only just providing saplings with the communities. So that is the second approach. The third approach is for people who already show high symptoms of fluorosis. When I say fluorosis, high symptoms of fluorosis, I want you to look at this particular sheet, this particular image. So, have you seen this? Have you seen this kind of deformity? Whenever have you traveled? Whenever you have traveled anywhere, say parts of Karnataka or any other state, have you come across something like this? Yes. Okay. Okay. It's part of Andhra. Okay. 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 All right. Sumasa is only in pictures. Okay. Thank you so much, Ayushi. So the fluorosis is just one. Uh, there are different symptoms, obviously. So because fluoride affects mainly the skeletal system in the body, and also the other systems as well. But the thing that is more visible is also the skeletal fluorosis, where this is a manifestation, this in an extreme form. So in an extreme cases, if for example, children and people continue to drink fluoride water for a long periods of time, and also if their nutrition levels uh, are not able to detoxify fluoride from the body, it could fluoride can start uh, affecting the skeletal system, and in extreme cases it starts deformity. And this is from the location of Jhabua in Madhya Pradesh, where like I mentioned earlier, the levels of fluoride are quite high, uh, 8 to 10 uh, milligrams per liter. And in such cases, this is the kind of effect that is seen. So, when I was talking about the third approach for people who are already affected, what are the things that we can do? Here, we are working with with a program called NPPCA, which is National Program for Prevention and Control of Fluorosis. This is a national program which is it's from the center, trying to support states where there is incidence of fluorosis seen. And so here, what they do is, based on their criteria, they try to identify people who have high extreme cases of fluorosis symptoms. Now, in those cases, in Chikblapur, we are trying to support them with uh, one. We have started the fluorosis rehabilitation center. When I say rehabilitation center, it is a center where physiotherapy is offered as a service to these patients. So there is pain reduction, because in extreme cases and in old age, they experience a lot of pain. So to reduce pain, these people can attend the physiotherapy center and get sessions. And then second, we also offer them nutritional counseling, so that they can make a minute changes to their nutrition, to their food habits, and then that can help them relieve some pain. So, and also we also supplement with the pharma tablets that will help them to relieve pain. So these are broadly three things that we are trying to work in Chikballapur. One, trying to see how we can uh, improve access to safe water, because there are already systems already in place, or if there are in the villages there are other safe sources. There are also villages where we have identified there are safe sources in the village which have contamination below the BIS standard. So we ask the communities to switch to the safer sources. And if there are no safe sources, then second option is that we would want we communicate to the villagers that you can opt for drinking water from these RO plants. That is the first study. Second, we work on the nutritional improvement in specifically in the high fluoride affected villages. We have identified high fluoride affected villages where we are working, and then uh, we work with Anganwadis, we work with schools, trying to see how we can improve this. Third, we are trying to see if, from the rehabilitation point of view, if people who are already having high symptoms of extreme symptoms of fluorosis, how can we support them? So for this, the rehabilitation center is there in Bagyapalli Taluk. So as of now, I would pause here and then maybe take questions. Of course, the things that I mentioned also have happened not easily. They had their own share of challenges. So that is also something that I would want to put it out, that it was not easy to say running the fluorosis rehabilitation center itself is quite a big challenge. So there are a lot of challenges also when it comes to, there are ideas that we have in our as a strategy that we think, but implementation also, the ground realities also have uh, have impact on our implementation as well.
What are the challenges in implementation, Kiran?
So for example, first challenge, uh, one of the because we knew that fluorosis is more vulnerable to, say, young children and women. Children, because they're because one, directly because of their mass, because they are low weight, the effect of such ions have more impact the on the children, and also women, because of their one the changing i- iron levels in their body. And also it is shown that because during the uh, when they are carrying, they have a lot of influence. Whatever the diet that they take, the nutrition that they take, has a lot of influence on both mother and child. So women also are at quite risk at getting fluorosis. So when we communicated this with the Anganwadi department in the department, so they had acknowledged, but there were no, for example, provisioning of safe water is not guaranteed. So along with, I remember back when Shreyas was also there with us. So both of us had spoken with the CEO of the district, the chief executive officer of the Zilla Panchayat. So he had agreed to provide safe water cans to people, and safe water cans to Anganwadis. When I say safe water cans, there is a can that goes to every Anganwadi, and the department pays for it. So it's an assured supply of safe water that is coming to which will go to the Angoni. It was a big step in trying to assure supply of safe water to say more than 2,000 Anganwadis in the district, which is a big step that we did. But implementation of that happened were a lot of challenges, because for the funds to be transferred to the Anganwadis, the accounts had to be active. The account of that village, there's a committee at the village level. That account had to be active. If the committee has not formed, there is no money that is going to be transferred. So that way, many Anganwadis were not able to utilize this kind of this particular order that was actually passed out by the department. Second, there were a lot of issues in who is going to get the safe water cans from the nearest RO plant. So we went with another solution again. We thought waterman, like I mentioned earlier, waterman is the person who is responsible for water supply operations in the village. So he or she would be the person who could go ahead and bring that. But I think there's Anganwadi members also face a lot of resistance while communicating with the watermen. So and then COVID had happened. Because COVID had happened, the Anganwadi centers was closed. Now what has happened is, after COVID, uh, when we went back again and did the survey, random survey, we found that many of these Anganwadis are not getting it, but not getting the supply as it was earlier ensured. Now, currently, our work, we have already communicated with the department that this is the status. But again, again, issuing an order has already been done. But I think the implementation uh, is something that requires coordination from different people at the ground level. So that is where these are the kind of challenges that happen. Even though it was a big success in the first initial 2 years, but now I feel that sustaining that kind of practice is something that currently our team is focused on.
Is there any focus on rainwater harvesting or groundwater recharge, some other way to dilute fluoride contamination?
Rainwater harvesting, in our programs, in the funds that we have, that there is no we do not have money for we have only a very small component of money that we can do for demonstration purposes. So small
Okay.
amounts that can be spent for, say, kitchen gardens, or if, say, one gram panchayat needs an access to tankers, then we can do that, but not that at that scale. So yes, we do not have money for rainwater harvesting or rejuvenation. But that does not but in the EU program, there is also another concept called the district platform. So we are working all these three things in the ground level, on
Mhm.
safe water, on nutrition and health rehabilitation. But at the district level also, we are directly coordinating with different departments. And yes, we have used the district funds for doing rainwater harvesting in our villages, to of course now groundwater rejuvenation, or dilution with soak pits, and then is now, given we have this Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Jal Jeevan Mission, there is a lot of focus on source sustainability. And then different schemes have been already implemented in villages, uh, where we have again submitted our focus that can this be taken in a high priority fluoride villages. But this has been done throughout the state. So, but rainwater harvesting, I think because of the initial investment that had to be made, I think it did not go through. There was one program directly run by the Jila Panchayat, where they were offering support of up to 50,000 rupees for doing rainwater harvesting, but the beneficiary had to pay 10,000 initially. And then we did a survey in our villages, but I think the uptake was quite low because of the initial investment uh, by people. So uptake was very low for rainwater harvesting. That is one. Second, for soak pits and sort of groundwater recharge, the government is doing a lot of massive soak pits through the Narega programs. They are actually doing it.
Thanks. And what is like the percentage of population affected, like extremely affected in the areas that you work? Just to get a sense, like
Yeah.
what
It is not
numbers are
much.
we?
It is not much. From our health assessment, we see that it is only, um, I would say, 2% of the population is 2% of the. For example, if we are working, we have data from 50 villages of the Bagipalli and Gudibande. I feel that we have only have around uh, in those villages around, say, 50 people who are high symptoms of fluorosis.
Okay.
Given that states like uh, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh have had a history of this particular problem, and they are now more mature in terms of the nutrition levels is good in these states. One, second, the water safe water access also has improved a lot in these states.
Cool. Thanks.
It is irreversible if you if, especially in the growing years. For example, in the young children, it could be reversed. uh, and then we have there are different case studies that we have documented in, right from Jhabwa to Dungarpur to Balasore to Assam. There are a lot of case studies that we have through, by giving good water, safe water, and nutrition at the right age, we can reverse them. But after they have, for example, after, say, the growing age stops, say for example 18, after that, then it becomes quite hard, quite tough to reverse.
So I'm coming from Andhra Pradesh, and during my childhood, my grandmother used to once in a week she used to make a dish out of tamarind, saying that we have a fluoride issues. So this acts as a counter detoxicant for that it acts as a detoxicant for fluorosis or something. So is that true or is just that a myth?
No, it is actually proven. There was a research conducted by the National Institute of Nutrition, which is based in Hyderabad, and then they had found that using tamarind, it helps in detoxifying fluoride from from body. So I think that is, I think that it's a proven study.
Okay, thank you.
There is even a belief, no, that belief, or maybe it's some kind of a food history, that the, because if you see in the subcontinent, that is in the Deccan Plateau part of the country, the consumption of tamarind is much higher than in any other part of the country. And uh, the understanding is that it's a cultural habit that was got into because of the fluoride in groundwater. I mean, not that they knew that there was fluoride in groundwater, but they found that consuming tamarind protected against deformities, etc. So maybe that's why it became a part of the cuisine. I don't know too much about it. I just kind of have heard it or read it somewhere. So
Yes, Suma. So mostly, yes, food habits have been evolved based on the first availability of things, but tamarind grows quite in this entire subcontinent. Tamarind grows quite easily. It does not require so much water after it has achieved the stage of growth. Yeah. So this is the, like, this is the content that we use to teach watermen. Now, watermen are not used to presentations. So this is actually picture based. We actually print it out in terms of a flip chart. We use it. and then we ask this very simple questions based on the photo, like like which water has fluoride, whether rainwater has fluoride, whether it's there in this pond, lake, whether it's there in the well. This well is also in Chiklapur. Whether it's there in the borewell. So yes, most of them respond. It's in borewell. Borewells are still quite common source of to extract groundwater in Chiklapur. Example, if we see this, if we ask them if they see this in their village, this one, and then if they are if the kids in the village show this, which means they are drinking water from borewell or a source which is contaminated with the fluoride, which has a lot of high fluoride content.
Um, Hi, Kiran, Suma here.
High.
So one of the questions is now the borewell water has what fluoride, and yes, to substitute the effect of the water, you can have RO water and also good nutrition. But the borewell water is also extensively used for irrigation.
Yes, yes.
And is there something on that being talked? Because then does the crops that they grow using this water, does that absorb fluoride? And so will fluoride get into people's through
Yeah, that is a
this
very
route of?
yeah, that's a very like, frequently asked question, Suma. And yes, it gets into food. It gets into food, and there have been cases where, for example, arsenic contamination has gotten into rice, and the rice has and then the export that was going to say European countries were banned because of the arsenic contamination found in rice. So there have been cases like that, and it's also true for fluoride that it goes into it is absorbed, and then but the point is here the testing within the food grains is it's not as easy as testing fluoride in water. There are only few centers I feel that do such kind of testing. That is NI, National Institute of Nutrition in Hyderabad. I think there's also another center in Karnataka. I think Central Food Central. I forgot the name, but there's another. We have less centers which actually help us analyzing the content amount of fluoride, say within grains. Uh, that is one thing. So that is one thing. Second, um, the amount of water that you drink is much more than the amount of food that you would take. So as of now, we are at that level where focus more is on the water part, less on the uh, on the fluoride that's coming from food. In fact, we are all even if in Bangalore, we are all maybe eating food, and we may get some trace amount of different chemicals that are there that are coming from food as well. But we need to understand that um, these contaminants start showing effect if they are in excess quantity. If they're in a quantity that starts having impact, only then people are like start thinking about it. As of now, I feel that uh, the focus more is the concern more, the attention more is towards water, because we generally drink a lot more of water, and the amount of fluoride that we get from water is much more than the amount of fluoride that we can get from food.
Right.
But
True. The food that is grown there gets it comes into the city, and we might also. And as you said, yes, it might not be to the level that, assuming that the content of fluoride in the water where it's grown is not as high, so the and the absorption rate is not as much by the mm vegetables or the grains, so it might reduce quite a bit, but it might actually affect the people who are in that area, who are drinking the water and consuming the grains, right? So in that respect, Is more research to be done, or it's done and seen? Just wondering.
Yeah. So that is the effect is directly based on the maximum daily tolerable intake, that is MTDI, which is what the World Health Organization uh, uses to come up with standards. Now we say that 1 milligram per liter is the standard for drinking water for fluoride. So that is based on how much, at what level it can start. It is tolerable to the human body. That is one. Second, in places like Nalgonda, for example, this is from my experience that the lot of rice that is coming from the PDS is not from that state, but it's from the other state, other districts, so they procure rice from the other districts for PDS because of this, because they feel that the rice that is grown in Nalgonda uh, has a lot of uh, has a lot of fluoride in it. But more research needs to be done. There have been policy decisions because of that, Suma, that rice is now procured from other districts of Telangana into Nalgonda because of this. Because of this, because Nalgonda is known to have. It's a classic, I would say, a case study for if somebody wants to understand fluorosis. So where the groundwater itself is quite high in fluoride. So there have been decisions based on that no, fluoride gets into rice. We will not eat the food. We will not eat rice from Nalgonda. So those have been the cases, but ultimately, we may not know if, for example, which rice we are eating from which place it's grown. That is one thing. And yes, more research on this part has to be done. Uh, whether whether it is whether it's affecting only rice or other crops as well, more research needs to be done.
Okay. If I had other questions, uh, unless you, if
Yeah, please tell
others
me.
have any more questions on this, I'll go ahead and ask. So one of the reasons also that we thought we would want to talk to you is, see, we go to schools and we talk about rainwater harvesting. We rejuvenate wells, and then uh, we also put up rainwater harvesting system there, and then there might be a bore well water that the school is using. And so in that respect, a water quality check by the school, and also giving it to the children to make use of, and becoming more aware of all of this was is part of what Biome does, right?
Mhm.
In that respect, we were wondering. So, one of the schools, the whole conversation happened because we wanted to give a handheld meter to one of the schools to check the quality of the rainwater, and they were going to be using that for everything. Um, so we said pH, TDS, and what
Mhm.
a few parameters, that temperature, and this should be good is what we were thinking. So the questions that we also came out with after that was, if they're depending mainly on this, and if there is any other contamination, is just giving handheld meter okay? Should we do this or not? And then the questions of the calibration of handheld meters. Do we want, should that be calibrated? And if they're depending on this, is it showing the correct reading? So
Mhm.
these are all. Uh, so the question is the traditional chemical method of testing better? Is handheld meter equally good? And if
Mhm.
handheld meter is fine, is there calibration required for it? If so, then how? Because procuring the calibration solution is not easy, and then it leads to so many more. So just wanted your thoughts on this.
All right. Okay. So I'll also quickly show you some pictures of that as well, so that it is interesting for all of us. So what we do is also now in INREM is also given that now Jal Jeevan Mission is active. Uh, Jal Jeevan Mission ensures that safe water is provided to every household at the tap level. So I'm sure that many of you would know about this. So, and then for that, what we do, we started this course called the Water Quality Management course, and then this is also one very frequently asked question, that what kind of testing methods are available at the field level for people to uh, start working on this. So here, uh, point about the field testing kits. Definitely you can go ahead and start using these kits, and then what happens is that most of the time these kits are chemical based, so it's and you just add chemicals to the water, and then they indicate the presence or absence of contamination, which means they will only show you in a range whether the bacteria, fluoride, nitrate, or any parameter for that matter. They will show you a range, in which range that contamination may be, whether it's high or low or medium. Generally nowadays the field testing kits are are I actually they are able to do this. So they are able to do this, and yes, it some handheld meters may require calibration. If we do not do the calibration, Suma, then what happens is that the result is very sporadic. We need to keep doing this. If, for example, we want to uh, do any kind of intervention, if we want to be sure about it, it's always good to again cross check. For example, if you're in the school, if the primary source of the water in the school shows bacterial contamination through the field testing kits, it is advisable that you do a lab test as well. That is what we do, because field testing kits, depending upon what is the reagents that is there, what is the uh, what is the life validity of that reagents, and then the consistency of results with the field testing kits. uh, it has to be verified again through a lab test. That is an advice that we follow, that if, for example, if there is any intervention that where we find out bacteria contamination, which bacteria contamination has a huge is a concern, because the effects on people are immediate, unlike chemical contamination. So it cannot wait. So advice is that please go ahead and also verify it with the lab, and then you start doing the intervention. Field testing kits or some meters that you're talking about need to be calibrated, because if not calibrated, they will not give out adequate correct results. I think I have worked with one uh, handheld meter which Aquadam had used, but it required calibration at certain intervals. And also TDS meters, for example, even TDS meters that we get, it needs to be calibrated after certain intervals, or else the value may not be correct. Suma.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, got that. And
So just
as part of
moving.
the panchayat as such, with this Jal Jeevan mission and other thing that's coming up, they are supplied with a kit for water
Yes.
quality testing.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Is will that suffice? And the next question is, are these usually all these chemical expire within 6 months? I mean,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
what I've
there's.
normally
Mhm,
seen.
mhm.
So are they replaced? Are you aware of any such
Yeah, yeah. So ideally,
practices?
yeah. So this chemicals. So these panchayats are getting this case, and then when in the Jal Jeevan mission program, when the FTK kits are given, they are only thought that people only do surveillance. They did not go into details. They did not go into the exact value of how much fluoride is or how much nitrate is. So that is the reason why the kits are used, because they are the department wants the community to just flag if there is a contamination that is detected and then report it back to department.
Right, absolutely. All these kits, these are, that's why they're called kits, right? They're
Yeah, that
just
is why it is given.
indicators. They are not
Mhm.
accurate as the lab.
Yeah, because
And it is the indication which will then people can just take it forward with whatever
yeah.
results they get. And keeping in mind the expiry of these chemicals and calibration of any handheld meters, all of
Hmm.
these are equally important to make sure that the water that is being used is safe, correct?
And talking about the refill of the reagents, Suma, mostly it has to be. I mean, in case of Chikbala, for example, it has not happened. It has not happened. The
Or they
kids have.
have not, they
Yeah,
do not. I know. So going to the panchayat and saying, okay, they have a kit, so we can utilize that is also not a good way of doing it, right?
but it
Because
differs from
we
state to
don't
state
know.
to state. The experience differs from district to district. Chikbalapur, for instance, I mean, because we have teams visiting panchayats for different work, right? So we know that kits are not available at the gram panchayati level. But when you go to states like Chhattisgarh, now Chhattisgarh has actually, since the start of the Jal Jeevan Mission program, they have provided kits to every gram panchayat, and they are doing the maximum number of tests of field testing kits than any other state. In fact, they have done like around 10 lakh tests, and the second best test is second best state is at 4 lakh tests per year. So they are
Oh,
doing enormous testing. So it differs from state to state. It differs from district to district as well. I hope that some district in Karnataka uh, will be doing actively testing more water. For example, I remember in our course we had uh, participants from Udupi, Udupi and also Uttar Kannada. Sorry, Uttar Kannada or Uttar Kannada. Yeah, I don't know which district is called with UK. Uttar Kannada, right?
Uttar
Yes,
Karnataka,
Uttar
yes.
Kannada.
Huh? Sorry, please.
Karwar,
Uttar
Karwar is called
Kannada.
in Kannada.
Okay, because I remember that we had this chemist from Karwar only, Karwar and Sirsi joining Sirsi. So all
Yeah,
of
all
these,
Dakshina Kannada region.
yeah. So basically, these chemists were sharing us their experience of, and then they are doing amazing testing. They are actually, these are chemists. They are actually going out to the Anganwadis, the field, and then they are testing water. And also after the course, they're also now, because now they understand what are the impacts. They're also communicating with these people in the ground as well, with the Anganwadi workers, with other frontline workers, ashas, and the water operators. So they're taking that message, learning from the course to even with more people. So yes, the situation varies from different places.
So yeah, the one other question that I have is, to calibrate, we need the buffer solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and finding them is not easy. And they are very expensive if
Yes,
you
yes.
do get. So, do you have any suggestions as to if we want to give, say, a handheld meter to a school to check the water quality parameters using that, and to calibrate, how do we go about it?
Hmm.
Any suggestions on this?
I think one way, I don't know, but it will be good. Let me just quickly pull out that website. I Because with the Jal Jeevan mission now coming up, what they have done is that they have now established a good series of laboratory network labs, and public also can actually use that labs. I don't know if so handle meters, it's always going to be, I feel, with any kit that is at the ground level, uh, it has to have certain kind of it will require certain maintenance, certain kind of. So I feel that we cannot get away with calibration, Suma. That's what I
No,
want
no,
to tell.
absolutely. There is no getting away with calibration. I totally understand that, because when the result that you're getting, you are not sure whether it's correct or not. So the meters can be calibrated. Uh, but if we want to calibrate, we need the buffer solutions. I
I
know
will.
in labs
Hmm,
people make it, but
hmm,
accessing these chemicals is not easy. So for
agree.
people such as Biome, how do we if there is yeah, if
Hmm,
you can even share the labs that would do or supply as and when required, if required, uh, just for us to
I
be
know.
aware of these things.
So for me, is there what one way we could think of this is not no, just that thing, something that is coming to my mind, because I remember we were doing calibrations while we were at the colleges. I mean, when we did chemistry, I did graduation in chemistry, and then we did a lot of the department of environmental sciences that I studied. So we did a lot of these calibrations back there. We used to take kids out, and then we did calibration in the lab. So if we can connect to some universities and or colleges which can help us in this, that is one way that they can do it, provided that there is a mutual understanding that is there for the university to support civil society organization, and then the civil society organization also connect sharing back something with the universities. So one way, because I know that colleges have a lot of way of a lot of expertise in testing when it comes
Right.
to.
There are a lot of, I mean, there are colleges, and then there are a lot of labs. So
Yes,
in that way, yeah, we can look at something. But
because I remember
if
I can connect with like for example uh, my alma mater, St. Joseph's College in Bangalore, so to help out on these.
on preparing this buffer solution.
Yeah.
Right. But when you go on the field, how do you work on this? Do
Mhm.
you need to take the parameters? Do you have handheld meters or chemical? How does
We mostly use
how do you
chemical
work
based
on it?
yeah, chemical based reagents only, Suma. So now, earlier, for example, fluoride is something that we need. Fluoride, arsenic is something that we anyway do, and now we are also testing nitrate, bacteria, uh, pH, all all through the multi-parameter kit that is given to us by the department in different locations. For example, in Balasore or Rajasthan, where we work, we are directly getting this multi-parameter kit from the department, and we are using that, and then we are reporting back the result from the same kit. So that is the status. We are not using any handheld meter which requires calibration as of
Got it. So I'm sorry to make you go through this. But I'm just wondering, your department, is it possible to share where they get the chemicals from? Because if that can be an easier way, which I think would be better than handheld meter, because managing handheld meter might not be as easy. Um,
now.
so if that information, if you can share with us.
Mhm. Yes, handle meters is something that
No, don't want handheld meter. We have enough information on handheld meter, where to procure and all that. But
yeah.
then going next to buffer solutions and calibration is another major
All right,
work, which
okay.
not everybody can work on it. And it's not easy for, I mean, when we give something, it should become very easy for people to just close their eyes, add two things, and look at the color.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
it
agree.
can be chemical is a better way to deal with it. So if there is a set of chemicals, set of parameters that we want to check,
Mm.
if we want to procure these chemicals, And if it needs to be replaced every 6 months, if we have a connection,
Fine.
with whom we should order it from. That's the only
Okay,
information
okay. So
I
I
would
am going
require.
to share this website, uh, which is also from the department. Personally, I have tried. I have not tested it in the sense I have not given a sample to this lab, but I know that there are many many people who are using this to get their because with the Jal Jeevan mission, what has now happened is now people in the ground are testing through FTK, through the field testing kit, but parallelly they have now developed a laboratory system as well, which are accredited NABL labs, which means that they have certain level of quality. So now, so so that's what I wanted to just say that for example, in Karnataka, you can see that we have 81 labs that can be, and 56 of them are accredited, which means they are good, very good in terms of. Uh, so if we can connect with at least one of the labs nearest to the location that is there, and maybe present our case that we are working. For working for a project, and then we want to like to do this something, maybe then I think can it be done. I think that is what I'm trying to think now. So this is the website, and then that's what I try to do. Is this, which location are you talking about? Is we are at, I mean, is it Devanali or Bangalore itself?
It is so okay. The because of which all this thoughts came in is in Kolar, but henceforth we might want to look at for other schools also, right? Whenever we're working, or
Okay,
for
okay,
any other purpose, we don't know. So just
okay.
being aware of all of this would be
Yeah.
good
So
for us.
this I'm sharing this website link on the chat. Uh,
Okay.
so this is one. Basically, these are websites. These are labs which the government has now. Okay, I think I'm showing the other. Stop share. I'm showing this lab. I just went ahead and tried to locate labs near us, and then I just put in Karnataka and Kolar. Can you see this?
One second. I don't know. I'm somewhere. I,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Anybody else?
nice.
Are you, just confirm? Are you able to see this?
Yeah, yeah, we
Yes,
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
got
what I
it.
wanted to just say to the question that was asked by Suma, if we can connect with one of the labs, and then if there is a letter that we can share with them and saying that we are doing this, and hence we may require calibration, because there are chemists that are sitting in these labs. There are chemists who do a lot of calibration anyway. So can, if for example, if we have good rapport with them, they can definitely do this for us. Maybe at a free of cost, if it's directly coming from some authority, or at a nominal price. So that's what I
Sure,
wanted to offer, say that
sure.
this is the best way, because this is a very systematic way of getting it done. And then what this particular Jal Jeevan mission is trying to do is trying to enable many people to do testing on their own. And for this itself, they have this particular website. As a public user, you can log in, and then you can give your sample. You can give your sample as well. And then this is the option that I click: locate labs near you.
Right.
And then, for example, in any location, Kolar or for if it's in Chikbalapur, please let me know.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that is one way I could think of.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we will try this and see if there is anything else that we can also come up with.
Yeah. Probably all these labs are headed by the executive engineer of that district. If we directly meet them and then get his permission, get his or hers permission, then we should not have a issue.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, Bhavani.
No, no, no. It was just by mistake. I mean.
Okay, okay.
There is another question. So the H2S vials, I mean, if you go on Amazon, you'll find these H2S vials,
Mhm.
which you can use for testing biological contamination.
Yes, yes.
These are good, right? These are just again an indication of whether there is presence or absence of the contamination. That should be okay to use. Do you
Yeah,
have any?
yeah, that could be okay to use. I mean, this is what we are saying. So yes,
Yeah,
they
right.
indicate only fecal coliform. The only fecal coliform test.
So
So
E. coli and other
yes,
is not indicated in this.
other bacteria are not here. E. coli definitely is indicated.
Is indicated. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
and we do it. We do it because I think there are different methods are coming for testing on bacteria as well. But the most commonly easy way to for many people to procure is this. I mean, there are a lot of
Correct.
innovations happening, no doubt, on
Okay.
testing bacteria, say within 24 hours, mushroom, Petri test method.
Even these vials are some 6-8 hours. They're not very long, not for days together like it used to be earlier. So
They take, I mean, we recommend 48 hours because 48
okay.
hours is where we see the the reaction time and everything to take occur and then give out the proper result. I think 48 hours is what we recommend. Usually, the test is also some manufacturers say that after 24 hours. But
Hmm.
but I think Indram had this study in Bihar, UP, and MP, where we found that the value of these all these H2S vials is better at the 48 hour time. So we take
Okay.
photos at every
So we
interval.
we just keep it and take pictures and then
Yes, take
figure
pictures.
it
Yeah,
out.
take
Okay.
pictures. So 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. And then
Okay.
we saw
Yeah.
that it makes a lot of sense to have for 48 hours.
Okay.
So with even the currently Ingram is now trying to work with school students in Assam, and even there we are recommending them to use uh, the field testing kits itself. So
Yeah.
that is provided
Got
by
it.
the government at the Gram Panchayat level. Yes.
Got it. Yes. We'll see how we can figure out the best way to
And this, I mean, with the Jal
procure
Jeevan
these.
mission, it is now quite easier or quite, it could be very easy to convince an official to say have a refill or have a field testing kit at the ground level.
Yeah. Got it. So if it is in the rural space, then using the Gram Panchayat field testing kit can be a better way, and figure out how that can be refilled in also. That
Yeah,
can be
because
one way.
department is supposed to refill it. There's a
Correct.
responsibility. There's an amount. There is a funds. There's funds available. So Jal Jeevan
Huh.
Mission has out of the entire amount, 2% of the entire amount is focused for water quality monitoring and surveillance. Which means the 2% of the amount is for lab setting and its functioning, but also the field testing kits at the ground, which means the executive director or the direct mission director of that Jal Jeevan mission program can approve kits or get
Got
refill of
it.
these kits.
Got it.
Even but in Chiklapur, we have not been successful because Chiklapur does not have an active Jal Jeevan mission program
Yet. Okay.
because of various reasons. The source is
In Kolat, where this particular school is, I know at least close by in that area, the Jal Jeevan mission is quite active.
Hmm.
So we'll figure it out. I think Bhavani Shivanand will know better on that.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I am done with my questions. If anybody else has.
On India Water Portal, there is a list of which is now quite outdated, but still it is very quite relevant. There's a list of field testing kits, vendors with list of field testing kits. There are details of it on India Water Portal.
Got it. Noted.
You have
We'll
that.
check that also. We'll
Yeah,
check that.
I will
Thank you.
just share you the link. Yeah, I'll just share you the link. And then there are obviously there are other innovations that are coming up in this space, testing space, mobile-based testing kits, sensor-based testing kits. Now a lot of innovations are there. This is the link that I was talking about on India Water
Yeah.
Portal.
Thank you. Yeah, this helps. Yeah.
I'm sure I think many of you have attended uh, the course, the foundational course that we offer on water quality management. I know Suma and Bhavani and Shivananda were there in the course.
Which course was it? Sorry, I missed what you said.
Yes, yes, I was there in that water quality,
Water quality
water
management
quality
course.
management course.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, just a minute. I'll also share about that course. Right now, we are doing with the state of Jharkhand. So this course is now currently for all the chemists in the Jharkhand state. It's going on right now. Okay, I'm just sharing the details about the course. It's documented on this article. And anyone want to join this, please let us know. We can see if in the future batches that we are going to organize, we can have anyone who want to attend. Yeah, please read about the course. I mean, a lot of we have a we have 9 modules of session. Starts from understanding what basics of water quality, and then going into standards, and then how it impacts health, and also then going to how there are different treatment options for various parameters, right from arsenic, iron, bacteria. How do you remove them from your water? And then the next part of the modules talk about behavior change. When it comes, how can we start uh, how can we start motivating or influencing behaviors that we want communities or any individual or citizen to actually take. And then we have different tools that we offer to participants that they can use. I mean, I'm sure many of you might have. I think in the earlier avatar, we had something called the safe water cards for fluoride. I'm sure that I think Shubha ma'am uh, might know about this. Uma, this cards, the flash cards that we had on.
Yeah, I think it's there on our
Yes,
waters.in
Yes,
also.
it's on
yes,
urban
yes.
waters. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that we have now it's now not only limited to fluoride, but we have gone into iron, pathogens, arsenic, nitrate, a lot of it. So it has expanded. I think uh, and also plastics as well. We went ahead into plastics because microplastics now a very big concern. And there was a university in the US that had partnered with us with their students, and the students had made flashcards on plastic, microplastics, and that is also part of the collection. So that is also a great. It's an evolving library, and currently we are working with the team of India Water Portal to put every. There are different content that we are offering to the public. So how can that go into that? Uh, uh, how can it be available to public as well? Something that we are looking at doing right now. I'll just quickly show that
If you
same.
can share those links over email, Kiran, then it will kind
Yes.
of stay with us also. So
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
flashcards, as well as any link to your training program or anything else that you think.
Yes. I'll share.
You can send it to water at
Water
bio,
at Biome Solutions.
water@biomesolutions.com.
Send it across to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, this is what I'm just quickly show you. Uh, I'm opening another link. Yeah, I mean, I remember last time it was on urban waters. We can actually add some more, and then this is the one. Uh, yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah, it's loading.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are different languages now. So we have it for different language, and then based on different sections. Obviously, these are the sections: uh, standards, parameters, and in knowing the health impacts, understanding what is this. Like for example, this for iron, test how to test iron, the impact of iron, how to remove iron, what is the solution at the household level, and what is the solution at the community level. So these are things that are for many parameters now, and in different languages as well. These are in different languages, so I think that could be used for at different levels. So it is also in Kannada as well.
Yes.
It's also in Kannada, so yes, we can Kannada and other languages where we are working, and where it is actually used to a lot extent. So yes, it's in at the moment it's in Hindi, Kannada, Gujarati, Odia, Assamese, and English. So yes, I mean, like this is for so this is what the India Water Portal team has requested us to uh, share this on a public version. So that's where we are working right now. So yes, we will get. But I think I can share these things. I mean, you please, if I can just share this in case you need it, please download it from here. I just shared the link. You can download the copies
Yeah.
of
Thanks.
whichever languages that you want to use. All right, Ayushi and Nilima would like to be, Rakshita also would like to be part of the course. Thanks. Just let me know. Currently, the monthly course is now is at the pause at the moment because we are now focusing on state-specific request. So Jharkhand State Drinking Water Department had requested for this course. So currently that is happening. So our teams are busy there. So yes, whenever the next version of the course is there, we'll let you know.
Thanks for that.
And I will share the link of the course. Just give me a moment. Okay, this is the link for the course. You can all apply. So once you click on this link, again I'll share my screens. So there you can learn more about it, about this. I think there's a brochure that I'll share so that you'll know what is the course all about. Meanwhile, I think you can also check about the course at this website, waterquality.network. I'm sure Shivananda and Bhavani, we might have showed you the Water Quality Network website many times. Water Quality Network website. Just give me a moment. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I had some questions about other contaminants. Kiran, nowadays there is a lot of talk about PFAS and other things.
Yes.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
in fact, I was reading an article which talked about how soil is being contaminated
True,
by
true, true.
sewage sludge that has, and this is of course in the UK, not in India. I'll just read out the. One. Where is
Yes, and I totally forgot the point that Shubham ma'am had pointed out about the Bangalore's treated wastewater coming out to
that?
Kolar and Chikbalapur district. In the next phase of our program, this is what I mean. Eventually, what we want to do is get to different emerging contaminants, and also how such large level programs like this treated wastewater program has impact on the groundwater aquifers and its contamination. You all also want to understand it more, and definitely we will need inputs from Biome also on that.
Okay, so this talked about this. I'm just looking at a small snippet of it, which talks about
Mhm.
sewage sludge that contains a cocktail of dangerous substances, including PFAS, forever chemicals, benzoapyrene, dioxins, furans, PCBs, PAHs, and microplastics, all of
Mhm.
which are persistent and potentially cumulative. So this is being used on farmland and has the potential to contaminate soil.
Yes.
So this is from the UK, of course, but I was thinking it won't be very different here. I mean, the percentage may be less because we don't use so many chemical products in households and toilets and things like that, maybe. But is there, for instance, now there was also an article which made the round some time back saying that even rainwater contains PFAS now. And is there any, you know, plan to test for all these chemicals or some of these chemicals in or is testing already happening or any thought of testing for these things?
Yeah, the testing for this is already happening at in a very few universities, Uma.
Hmm.
It's more of a research discovery. It's at that stage. People are
Okay.
discovering stage. So, for instance, I'll talk about uranium. Uranium is now in like 3-4 years back. It was quite a sensitive topic in the sense I remember when I was trying to conduct a meeting on uranium contamination in Chikbalapur, and everybody's like, "Why are you doing this? Why would you
Hmm.
want to do this?" Because they were all scared about that. Because why would you want to open a Pandora's box?
Hmm.
That's the that is where it was coming from.
Right.
But I feel that all of that microplastics and this persistent organic chemicals, everything is now classified under emerging contaminants of concern.
Hmm.
Emerging contaminants of concern, and I feel that it's at a discovery stage. Few contaminants like uranium have now and nitrate now, for example, these two contamination are now more studied, and now there, for example, the knowledge that we have on fluoride and arsenic and how to you mitigate is not available for say uranium and these nitrate. The nitrate is all we know is that blue baby syndrome, but most of the you will not find blue. I've not seen blue baby syndrome personally.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so but that doesn't mean that there are other unknown health impacts, which I think are coming to light by different studies that are done by World Bank. I know Sundar sir had mentioned about it. So that is going to be coming on light very soon. Uh, and then uranium, the testing is done by the Baba Atomic Research Center in Bombay. Now they have this national uranium mapping program, and that's through that mapping program they have identified pockets of uranium contamination in different parts of the country, not only limited to Chikbalapur that I was mentioning earlier. So
Hmm.
different parts of the country.
Yeah,
And
there was also an article sometime back in the New Indian Express saying that Bangalore outskirts have high levels of radioactive radon in
yes,
groundwater.
yes.
Mm.
That is true. I was coming to your point about its effect on soil. Yes, it has a lot of effect on soil because it hampers the quality of soil and then that directly hampers uh, what's the
Agriculture.
productivity of the.
Mm.
So in the course that we are touching this, where we are saying that through salinity is a big problem. Salinity is a big problem in the entire coastline of India, where productivity is, and not only coastline, there is also interior salinity as well. So salinity is a big problem, and it's directly impacting the farmers, agriculture, that matter. So this is something that is now documented, and this from this particular study. So there is a big impact, and then yes, um, this was anyway the contamination that are entering into food chain is something that we talked about earlier. Yes, it has an impact, and how the perception is on. For example, if EU bans EU bans rice export from India, it's a big perception that is also coming for India's rice production. Now it's not there, but I'm just talking about the earlier case. But it keeps happening for various things like mangoes. Uh, they have detected pesticides level which is very high, so they banned the entire cargo of mangoes. So it has such things have the quality of such things have huge impact on at the economic level as well.
Right. Any other questions? Then shall we wind it up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks so much, Kiran. It was a very, very informative talk. And thanks for addressing many of the questions that we had. We were like, water quality, we should reach out to Kiran. So that's why I was kind of chasing you like that for a session. When can you do it for us, kind
Yeah,
of?
yeah.
So thanks so much. Yeah, it was very, and we probably will kind of, in between be reaching out to you for
Sure, 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 sure.
various things. So
Yeah, Inram also is now like there are things that we are actually trying to also aim uh, is to we are already working on some hotspot problems in India, but the threat of contamination is not only limited to say arsenic or fluoride, but pathogens still remains one of the biggest problems that India is facing on
yes.
water quality,
Hmm.
and then we are also saying that there are emerging contamination as well, and then also not only our lens is also now needs a change. It's not only for say the knowledge that we have built on few parameters. Let's say fluoride and arsenic as relatively a contamination where there are some insights to how to we can overcome them. Uh, but I feel that relatively the space for when it comes to water quality about in agriculture and also at the ecosystem level is something
Hmm.
that uh, not many are thinking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yes, there will be a lot of things that are actually posted on this I was actually about to show you this final thing, and then maybe we can close for people for at least meanwhile the course is not running, so I think you can go to this website. That's what I wanted to show to okay, I'll just stop this and then I'll close this. This is the website I'm talking about. You can find a lot of stories pretty much like the urban waters, I would say. But there are also more urban waters has also very good resources. See, this also has. That's why I wanted to introduce here. So I'll quickly share it. Yeah. So this is the website. So you get a lot of stories that are coming from our field teams who are working on different water quality problems. And here I wanted to just show to the team here that we have a lot of things that you can use here. This is, I think, uh, working groups. I wanted to show if you go to working groups. All right, I'll just share the link in the group about how you can access materials on water quality management course until uh, until you guys can come on board on the course. You can access the materials already that are there in public domain. I think there seems to be some issue with this website, and is I'm not able to go forward. I'll share the link anyway. All right.
Thank you so much, Kiran. Thanks. It was, I don't know how the time just flew past. We were thinking it'll be done in 1 hour, but it's almost more than one
Okay.
and a half hours. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving the time. Yes, it was a good opportunity for me to connect back, and thanks for giving this up.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you for sparing the time.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thanks everyone for attending.